Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Success, change, and greatness don't come from grand gestures alone. They come from the smallest steps, the quiet decisions, and the unseen sacrifices. Every dream ever achieved started as an idea backed by action. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't talent, luck, or connections. It's action. It's getting up every day and doing something, anything, that moves you forward. We live in a world that glorifies the big moments, the championship game, the awards ceremony, the breakthrough performance. But what you don't see are the hours of practice, the late nights of studying, the countless failures before the victory. What separates the great from the rest isn't the highlight reel, it's the unseen work. Some of you are waiting for the perfect opportunity, the perfect moment, the perfect plan. Waiting, but let me tell you something, there is no perfect moment. The time to start is now, right now. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't need the perfect strategy. All you need is movement. One step, one choice, one decision. It may seem small today, but small things compound. You want to write a book? Write one page. You want to get in shape? Take a walk. You want to start a business? Make that call. You want to change your life? Start with your mindset. Every great accomplishment begins with a single step, and every step forward builds momentum. It won't always be easy. You will fail. You will doubt. You will want to quit. But if you keep moving, no matter how small the action, you will grow. You will improve. And one day, you will look back and realize that all those little steps led you exactly where you were meant to be. So don't wait for permission. Don't wait for the stars to align. Don't wait for someone to believe in you before you believe in yourself. Take action, no matter how small, and keep going. Success begins with small steps. Many people look at those who have achieved greatness and assume they got there through one monumental leap, a single stroke of genius, or sheer luck. But the truth is, success is never the result of one massive action. It's the accumulation of countless small, deliberate steps taken consistently over time. Every great accomplishment starts with a single move, an initial effort, no matter how small. It is the willingness to take that first step that sets people apart. Often, people hesitate to start because they believe their first step needs to be something grand, something noticeable, something that will make an immediate impact. This belief can be paralyzing. The reality is, the first step is rarely impressive. It may seem insignificant or even trivial, writing a single sentence, making one phone call, taking a 5-minute walk, learning a single word in a new language. These actions may not seem like they will lead to success, but they are the foundation upon which everything else is built. When a child learns to walk, they do not immediately start running. They take small, wobbly steps, often falling along the way. No one expects them to sprint on their first try. The same principle applies to anything in life. The beginning is always the hardest part because progress is slow and the results are barely visible. But each small step, no matter how unsteady, builds confidence. It creates momentum. Over time, those small steps turn into strides, and strides turn into breakthroughs. The biggest mistake people make is waiting for the perfect moment to take action. They tell themselves they will start when they have more time, more money, or when conditions are just right. But there is no perfect moment. There will always be obstacles, distractions, and uncertainties. The only way forward is to begin where you are, with what you have, no matter how small the effort may seem. The power of small steps lies in their ability to create consistency. Success is not about making one big move. It's about showing up every day and doing something, anything, that pushes you in the right direction. A writer who commits to writing just one page a day will have a full-length book in less than a year. A musician who practices for just 15 minutes a day will see improvement over time. A person who starts exercising for just 10 minutes a day will build endurance and strength. The small steps may not seem like much at first, but over time, they add up to something substantial. Another reason why small steps matter is that they make big goals less overwhelming. When a goal feels too large, it's easy to feel discouraged before even starting. But breaking it down into manageable pieces makes it less intimidating. Instead of focusing on the entire mountain, focus on the first step up the trail. Then the next, and the next. Before you know it, you've made significant progress without even realizing it. Taking small steps also helps to develop discipline. It teaches patience, resilience, and the ability to keep going even when progress feels slow. Most people give up not because they lack talent or potential, but because they lose patience. They expect instant results, and when they don't see them, they quit. But success is a long game. It requires persistence. It requires faith in the process. It requires trusting that the small actions taken today will lead to something greater in the future. One of the most powerful things about starting small is that it removes the fear of failure. When the stakes are low, it is easier to experiment, learn, and adjust. Failure feels less daunting when the initial steps are small. It becomes part of the process rather than a reason to stop. Each step provides valuable feedback, showing what works and what doesn't, allowing for course correction along the way. Small steps create momentum. When you take action, even a small one, it gives you a sense of accomplishment. That sense of progress fuels motivation. The more you do, the more you want to keep going. Success is not about sudden leaps, but about steady, consistent movement forward. Those who achieve greatness are not necessarily the ones who started with the most talent, the most resources, or the best circumstances. They are the ones who took action, no matter how small, and kept moving forward. Action separates dreamers from achievers. Many people have dreams, ideas, and ambitions, but far fewer take the necessary steps to turn those dreams into reality. It is easy to imagine success, to visualize the outcome, and to talk about what could be, but none of that matters without action. The world is filled with people who have great ideas, yet only a small percentage of them ever bring those ideas to life. The difference is not intelligence, talent, or luck. It is the willingness to take action, to move forward even when the path is unclear, and to keep pushing even when the results are not immediate. Dreams without action remain just that, dreams. They stay locked in the mind, never materializing into anything tangible. Many people spend years planning, researching, and waiting for the right moment. But planning without execution is just another form of procrastination. Action is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. No matter how well thought out a dream is, it will never become a reality unless steps are taken to bring it to life. Fear often holds people back from taking action. The fear of failure, the fear of judgment, and the fear of uncertainty can be paralyzing. Many people are afraid to start because they do not want to make mistakes. But mistakes are part of the process. No one starts perfectly. Every expert was once a beginner. Every successful person has failed more times than they can count. The difference is that they kept going. They learned from their failures and used them as stepping stones rather than roadblocks. Those who wait until they are completely ready will find themselves waiting forever. Taking action does not mean knowing every step in advance. It means starting with what you have, doing what you can, and learning along the way. Progress is made through doing, through trial and error, through experiencing the ups and downs that come with any journey. The path to success is rarely a straight line. There will be setbacks, adjustments, and unexpected challenges. But none of that matters if the decision to keep moving forward remains unchanged. Many people underestimate the power of small actions. They believe that if they cannot make a massive change immediately, then it is not worth doing anything at all. But action, no matter how small, creates momentum. A single step leads to another, and before long, progress is made. Success is not about making one giant leap. It is about taking consistent steps, day after day, no matter how small they may seem. A writer does not finish a book in one sitting. A musician does not master an instrument overnight. A business is not built in a day. Every great accomplishment is the result of continuous, disciplined action. Excuses are the enemy of action. People convince themselves that they do not have enough time, enough money, or enough skill to start. They tell themselves that they will begin when circumstances are better, when they feel more confident, or when they receive approval from others. But circumstances are rarely perfect. Confidence is built through action, not before it. And waiting for approval means giving someone else control over your dreams. Those who achieve great things understand that they must take responsibility for their own progress. They do not wait for the perfect conditions. They create them through movement, effort, and persistence. Every action taken builds confidence. The more you do, the more capable you feel. Action creates results, and results create belief in one's own abilities. It is impossible to develop true confidence without experience, and experience only comes through doing. The more steps taken, the clearer the path becomes. Fear begins to fade, and what once seemed impossible starts to feel within reach. The world does not reward ideas alone. It rewards action. It rewards those who show up, who put in the work, and who take risks. Action transforms dreams into reality. It is the defining factor between those who wish for success and those who achieve it. There is no perfect moment. Start now. Many people spend their lives waiting for the right time to take action, believing that success depends on timing, ideal circumstances, or a stroke of luck. They tell themselves that they will start when they have more experience, more resources, or when they feel fully prepared. This mindset keeps them trapped in inaction, constantly postponing their goals and dreams. The truth is, waiting for the perfect moment is an illusion. There will always be reasons to delay, always excuses that seem valid. But the longer one waits, the harder it becomes to begin. The only way forward is to take action now, with whatever is available, and trust that progress will come with time and effort. Many people believe they need to have everything figured out before they start. They want a flawless plan, a guarantee of success, and the assurance that nothing will go wrong. But perfection is a myth. No plan survives exactly as imagined. No journey unfolds without obstacles, and no one has all the answers from the beginning. Growth happens through experience, through learning from mistakes, and through adapting along the way. The sooner one starts, the sooner they gain the knowledge and skills necessary to improve. Fear is one of the biggest reasons people wait for the right time. They fear failure, judgment, and uncertainty. They convince themselves that they are not ready, that they need more preparation, or that they lack the right resources. But no one ever feels completely ready. Readiness comes from action, from doing the work, from stepping into the unknown and learning through the process. Fear does not disappear by waiting. It only grows stronger. The only way to overcome it is to act despite it. The small beginnings often feel insignificant, but they are the foundation for future success. A writer's first draft may not be perfect, but it is a step toward a finished book. An entrepreneur's first business attempt may fail, but it provides lessons for the next venture. A person's first attempt at anything may be messy, unpolished, or even embarrassing, but it is better than not trying at all. Starting now, even with imperfect action, is far more valuable than waiting for the perfect moment that will never come. Momentum is built through action. The first step may be the hardest, but once it is taken, the next step becomes easier. Progress creates motivation. Each small accomplishment builds confidence and reinforces the belief that more is possible. The longer one waits, the more stagnant they become, and the harder it is to break free from inaction. By taking immediate steps, no matter how small, momentum begins to build and opportunities start to appear. Time does not wait. Every moment spent waiting is a moment lost. People often look back on their lives and wish they had started earlier, taken more risks, or pursued their goals without hesitation. Regret is not about the mistakes made, but about the chances not taken. The future is shaped by the choices made today. The sooner action is taken, the more time there is to learn, grow, and achieve what once seemed impossible. Excuses are easy to make. Life is always busy, circumstances are rarely perfect, and there will always be challenges. But people who achieve great things do not wait for conditions to be ideal. They work with what they have, start where they are, and figure things out along the way. They understand that action is the only way to create change, that movement is the only way to get closer to their goals. Every great achievement in history started with someone who refused to wait. They took action despite uncertainty, despite fear, despite the fact that they were not fully prepared. They understood that progress is not about being ready, it is about being willing. The right time is not in the future, the right time is now. Small efforts compound into greatness. Many people believe that success is the result of one big breakthrough, a sudden stroke of genius, or an extraordinary talent that sets someone apart. They look at those who have achieved greatness and assume that they must have taken massive leaps to get there. But the reality is far different. True success is rarely the result of one defining moment. It is built gradually, through small, consistent actions that accumulate over time. What may seem insignificant in the beginning eventually adds up to something remarkable. The concept of compounding applies to all areas of life. Just as small investments grow into substantial wealth over time, small daily actions lead to significant achievements. A writer who commits to writing just a few hundred words a day will eventually have a completed book. A person who exercises for a few minutes daily will develop strength and endurance over time. A musician who practices consistently, even for short periods, will eventually master their craft. The key is not in the size of each effort, but in the consistency with which it is applied. Most people underestimate the power of small actions because the results are not immediately visible. They expect instant gratification, and when they do not see immediate progress, they assume their efforts are not making a difference. But greatness is built in the moments that seem ordinary. It is built in the repetition, in the daily habits that may not feel significant at the time, but create lasting impact over months and years. Patience is essential when working toward any meaningful goal. The early stages of any journey can feel frustrating because progress is slow. It is easy to feel discouraged when the results do not match the effort being put in. But the most successful people understand that real change happens beneath the surface, long before it becomes visible. They trust the process, knowing that small, consistent actions will eventually lead to extraordinary outcomes. Momentum is created through small actions. The first step is always the hardest, but once it is taken, the next step becomes easier. Every small effort reinforces the habit of taking action. The more consistently someone works toward a goal, the more natural it becomes. Success is not about making one giant leap, but about showing up every day and doing something, even if it seems minor. The effort may seem small in the moment, but over time, it creates unstoppable momentum. Many people give up too soon because they do not see immediate results. They assume that their small actions are not making a difference and abandon their efforts before they have the chance to see the true impact. But the effects of small efforts are often invisible at first. Just like a seed planted in the ground, progress happens beneath the surface long before it is seen. The person who stays committed, who keeps taking small steps forward, will eventually break through in ways they never imagined. Excuses often get in the way of consistent effort. People convince themselves that small actions are not worth it, that if they cannot make a big change right away, they should not bother at all. But small steps are the only way to create big changes. Waiting for the perfect opportunity or trying to do everything at once only leads to frustration. The key is to start small, stay consistent, and trust that every effort is contributing to something greater. Every success story is built on a foundation of small actions. The most accomplished individuals did not start at the top, they started just like everyone else. Taking one step at a time, making small improvements, learning from their mistakes, and staying committed even when progress was slow. It is not about talent or luck, it is about persistence. It is about understanding that even the smallest effort, when repeated over time, has the power to create something extraordinary. Discipline turns small actions into lasting success. Many people start with enthusiasm, motivated by a new goal or ambition, but that initial excitement fades over time. When progress feels slow, when challenges arise, or when distractions come into play, it becomes easy to lose momentum. This is where discipline makes the difference. While motivation is fleeting, discipline is what keeps a person moving forward, even when they do not feel like it. Discipline is the ability to show up consistently, to do the work regardless of how one feels, and to commit to progress even when the results are not immediate. Success is not about taking action when it is easy or convenient. It is about showing up even when it is hard. Athletes do not train only when they feel inspired. Writers do not write only when creativity strikes. Entrepreneurs do not work only when conditions are perfect. The most successful people in any field understand that consistency is more important than bursts of motivation. They create habits and routines that ensure they continue moving forward no matter the circumstances. Small, disciplined actions, repeated daily, build resilience. When someone commits to doing something every day, even in small amounts, they strengthen their ability to push through resistance. They train themselves to take action regardless of external conditions. A person who exercises every day, even if just for a few minutes, is building a habit of discipline that extends beyond fitness. A student who studies a little every day, rather than cramming at the last minute, develops the ability to stay committed to long-term learning. Discipline in one area of life spills over into others, making it easier to stay consistent in everything one does. One of the biggest challenges people face is the urge to wait until they feel ready. They tell themselves they will start when they feel more confident, more prepared, or more inspired. But feelings are unreliable. They change from day to day, moment to moment. Discipline removes the need to rely on feelings. It creates a structure that ensures action is taken regardless of how someone feels in the moment. This is what separates those who achieve their goals from those who give up when things get tough. Discipline also builds self-trust. When a person follows through on their commitments, they strengthen their belief in themselves. They prove to themselves that they are capable of taking action, of staying consistent, of pushing through difficulty. The more they keep their promises to themselves, the more confidence they build. On the other hand, when someone repeatedly breaks their commitments or gives up when things get hard, they weaken their self-trust. They begin to doubt their ability to follow through. This is why discipline is so important, not just for achieving external success, but for developing inner confidence and self-respect. There will always be distractions, excuses, and obstacles that make it tempting to quit. Life is unpredictable, and challenges will always arise. Discipline ensures that progress continues, no matter the circumstances. It eliminates the need to constantly make decisions about whether or not to take action. Instead of debating whether to go to the gym, write a page, or work on a goal, a disciplined person simply does it because it is part of their routine. This removes mental resistance and makes success inevitable. Many people believe discipline is restrictive, that it limits freedom or makes life rigid, but discipline actually creates freedom. It gives a person control over their time, their choices, and their future. Without discipline, people become slaves to procrastination, distractions, and bad habits. They find themselves constantly reacting to life instead of shaping it. But when discipline is applied, it allows for consistent progress, making goals more achievable and life more fulfilling. The road to success is not built on motivation alone. Motivation may get someone started, but only discipline will keep them going. It is the key to turning small, consistent actions into something meaningful. It is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. It is the force that transforms effort into results, turning daily habits into lifelong success. Progressive matters more than perfection. Many people hesitate to take action because they fear making mistakes, falling short, or not being good enough. They believe that if they cannot do something perfectly, then it is not worth doing at all. This mindset keeps them stuck, preventing them from ever making progress. The truth is, perfection is an illusion. No one starts as an expert. No one creates something flawless on their first attempt. Success is not about being perfect. It is about being willing to start, to learn, and to improve over time. Perfectionism often leads to inaction. People spend too much time planning, researching, or waiting for the right conditions instead of actually doing the work. They tell themselves that they need more time, more knowledge, or more confidence before they begin. But waiting for perfection means waiting forever. Perfectionism means waiting forever. There will always be more to learn, more to improve, and more reasons to delay. The only way forward is to take imperfect action and trust that progress will come with time. Mistakes are not failures. They are lessons. Every mistake provides valuable feedback, revealing what works, what does not, and what needs to be adjusted. The most successful people in the world are not those who never make mistakes, but those who learn from them and keep going. A person who waits for perfection will always be outrun by someone who is willing to make mistakes, learn, and keep moving forward. Growth happens through experience. No amount of preparation can replace the knowledge gained from actually doing something. A writer becomes better by writing, not by endlessly studying grammar. An athlete improves by practicing, not by reading about technique. A musician masters an instrument by playing, not by watching others perform. Action is the only way to develop skill, and progress only comes from repeated effort. Small improvements over time lead to great results. A person who improves just a little each day will be far ahead of someone who waits until they can do something perfectly. The key is to focus on progress, not perfection. It is better to start and improve along the way than to spend years waiting for the perfect moment. The sooner one starts, the sooner they gain experience and the faster they grow. Fear of imperfection holds people back. They worry about what others will think, about failing publicly, about not being good enough. But no one who has ever achieved anything great started as a master. Every expert was once a beginner. Every success story includes failure, setbacks, and challenges. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not perfection, it is persistence. It's not only success that wins the day, persistence. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not perfection, it is persistence. Those who succeed are the ones who refuse to let the fear of imperfection stop them from taking action. Creativity and innovation thrive when perfection is not the goal. When people allow themselves to experiment, to try new things, and to take risks, they open the door to new possibilities. Some of the greatest inventions, breakthroughs, and works of art were not created by people who were trying to be perfect, but by those who are willing to explore, fail, and keep going. Perfection stifles creativity. While progress allows for growth and discovery, people often set unrealistic expectations for themselves, believing that they must be flawless to succeed. This pressure can be overwhelming, leading to self-doubt and hesitation. But true success is not about never making mistakes. It is about learning from them. Every small step forward is progress. Every attempt, no matter how imperfect, brings growth. The most important thing is to keep moving, to keep learning, and to keep improving. Progress, no matter how small, is always more valuable than waiting for a perfection that will never come.